we completely lost. But you're talking about how I got taken care of, and I'm telling you about my emotional mental state that was not taken care of. Look at you, though. Like, look.
Good morning. So I am going to have a transparent moment with you guys because I have therapy later. So that's the only reason I'm going to share this. But I'm just feeling very low, very, very low. I'm having dark thoughts. I just feel like the more I try to do things the right way, the more I run into more challenges. And I know that's a part of growing, but it's like, I feel like I can't even get my footing, and it's already like another challenge coming at me. And I feel overwhelmed. Like, at first I was like, you know what? Okay, we can manage this. We can juggle this, but then like they just keep piling on and keep piling on and keep piling on, and I'm like, I can't take no more. I can't. And then they still keep coming. And even in those days where I'm like debilitated, like in a functional freeze, it doesn't matter. Like, things are going to keep coming, and it's causing me to continue to go into these freezes because it's like I get so overwhelmed. Our boy is outside, so y'all about to start hearing the leaf blower. I get so overwhelmed that I'm just like, you know what, fuck it, and I revert. And I know that's not good. It's just like, what do I do though? So yesterday I was already feeling down because I just feel like it's time for me to start bringing in income. It's about to be the new year. Rent's about to be due. My car insurance is about to be due. Credit card bills about to be due. And I thought I would have been further during this time. And so I was already feeling the pressure, even though I didn't have to. But for me, I started to feel like a bum. So yesterday I got up, I got ready. I had all intentions of doing Instacart. It was probably 5 orders that came in, and they were all very low, but wanted you to do like 3 orders and deliver them to 3 different houses. I started to feel discouraged. I kept checking InstaWork to see if they had anything. Nothing. I said, okay. I talked to my fiance after thinking about it. I was like, you know what? I'm going to go back to work in January, like the first week of January, because I have a doctor's appointment scheduled for January 5th. A doctor's appointment I know damn well I can't afford, right? I also hadn't gotten my new insurance information to start the new year yet. And I was starting to get a little anxiety about that. My fiance just keeps saying, you know, it's important to go. But technically my return date to work was supposed to be February, but I'm not going to go to the doctor's in January. I know they're going to have to either change my dose or up it, and then have to turn around and come back again in February. But also, I'm not sure if once they up this dose again, if they expect me to come back again, because I can't afford it. And I keep telling these people, and they're like, oh, financial assistance. But financial assistance wants you to send your entire bank account. And if you have anything as so simple as a Cash App payment or a Zelle payment, they want to reach out to every person who has sent you any money in question. That is so degrading. So because I don't want to put myself in a situation like that, even though my bank account damn well shows I don't have the money. I've told these people I'm on FMLA. They don't care. Also, the people who don't care is short-term disability. Like, the way these people are making it so hard. And then I reach out to my mother for help. I reached out to her for help in this department because I'm trying to lean on people in this time. The first time at the beginning of the year when I reached out to FMLA and I had a problem, when I reached out to my mother and I asked her for help, she was like, okay, I got it. I'm going to call them. And then she said that she was going to call like the insurance people. She never followed through. She never followed through. And by the time she even thought to ask a question, it was already too late. Like, I was already like, just forget it. I'm going back to work. And she was like, why? I could have helped you. Why didn't you ask me for help? That made me feel like, am I going crazy? I was like, I did ask you for help. She said, no, you said you had it. Okay. I let her have that. I let her have that. This time around, I am having an issue. All I need is a simple note. She works for my aunt's counseling company where I was seeking counseling. All I asked her for was a note to notate that my counselor ghosted me from August to November. During that time frame, I was looking for a different counselor. I could not find one, number one, that I could afford. Number two, who would call me back. That is what the discrepancy is. Not from the beginning of the year, because we've already sent all of that. Not from when I got diagnosed, because we already sent over that. It's still not good enough for them. They want to nitpick that short time frame where my counselor went MIA. I asked my mom if they could simply write a note letting these people know what happened during that time. She says, okay, I'm going to look into it. I said, okay. I said, I need a little while. Like, I'm not asking for you to call me right now. Maybe tomorrow, because I was just frustrated at the fact that it's like every time I send them what they're looking for, they can't be specific for what they're asking for until I start sending in documents, and now they're like, well, we need this now. I'm not a dog. If I come to y'all and I ask y'all specifically what y'all need and y'all say, we don't know, just send whatever you can from counseling. Then I do it. Y'all wait 3 weeks and then come back and say, we don't have enough information. And also you have to have that information to us by the beginning of the year. So I say, okay, for my mom. She calls me the next day or that night. I'm thinking she's calling me with some information. So I answer. She was like, you feeling better now? I said, yeah, I mean, that was a lot to handle because they keep asking me for stuff. She was like, yeah, I'm happy you're feeling better. And went on to a different conversation, never gave me an update. I still give her the benefit of the doubt that she will handle it, right? So now it's nearing the due date. So I'm just telling her, like, I'm about to just give up on short-term disability once again because I can't get what I need. They're going to continue to make things hard for me. This was just last week, right? That I'm telling her that I'm talking. Actually, it was this past weekend. I tell her this. Mind you, I asked for the help last week or the week before. She says, oh, don't worry about it. When I come down there in town, I'm going to help you. They're not coming to town until like the second week of January. My stuff is due at the beginning of January. I told this woman this. And you see how the goalpost keeps getting moved? So of course, when she gets here, I'm going to tell her, never mind. And then that's going to be her excuse next time. Well, you told me, don't worry about it. You fucking... Meanwhile, my brother, she will literally do whatever he needs her to do that same day. So now that's a lost cause because I already know I'm going to get denied, right? So now I know I'm not going to get any back income. I'm not going to get any current income. So I'm like, oh, shit's getting real, right? Shit's getting real because I only got so much savings. So, although my fiance is offering to help, there's only so much his paycheck can do. We're in a recession, damn near a depression. One household income is just impossible. It's impossible. Like, and if it is possible, your man better be making 6 figures. He is not. He makes decent money, but it's decent money to get by and have money to save, money to do a little something here or there. To carry a whole other person, I have to be realistic. It's just not possible. He can help. But I also don't want to drain him. You understand? Because he's still taking care of groceries. He's still taking care of small bills around here. And then this month he offered to cover rent. I can't let him, and call it ego, but it's like I feel I want to contribute something. I'm not going to take away somebody's damn near their whole paycheck. Rent is not cheap here in Georgia. It's just not. It's not. I appreciate him. I'm grateful for him. So I'm already feeling down, right? So I call him while he's at work, and I'm like, hey, I guess it's just because I feel like so much of a bum. I feel I need to give him an update. But I'm like, I am going to go back to work the first week of January. And he was like, how do you feel about that? I was like, not good. Not good at all. Like, I had already planned to drink later on just simply because that's information I didn't really want to process, and information I knew I didn't want to do, because that's such a toxic environment for me. And it's like knowing your bully and having to go back to it after you've had this time off. Hold on. So he's like, well, you don't have to go back. Like, you don't have to feel like you need to go back. I'm just explaining where my mind is. I'm explaining what I'm trying to do for extra income, how things aren't working out. And sooner or later, it's just going to have to be, I'm going to have to go back. February will be here before you know it, the same way that December just passes by. And not only that, like, you know, I've been putting in for jobs. I'll get to that though. So, I told him if I go back a month early, at least I can still use, because you get 12 weeks off in a calendar year for FMLA. So technically, my 12 weeks would be up in February. However, if I go back in January, I could either save that time for if I need it later on, or your doctor can talk to you about like what you can handle when you go back. And so I was thinking maybe I start out small, do half days there, so that I can get my footing in. It won't feel like it's all crashing down on me at one time, and it won't be like a culture shock to me or make me go into shell shock. And I can also start bringing in a little bit of income during that time. So he was like, okay. He was like, but I just want you to know you don't have to go back. He was like I almost say don't go back. And I was like, I don't know. I got to think about it. I was like, because this is just a lot. And I was like, let me just think about it. Let me just think on it. When I got off the phone with him, I ended up seeing an angel number, 222. And it was just saying, like, have hope, and you need to get into alignment and trust the process. And that shit pissed me off. Like, I don't want to see any more angel numbers. And all of them I see are continuously telling me that, right? I know I'm going against what is needed for my journey. I know that. I see the signs. I feel it. I see how it's making me regress. I know, right? But on a realistic level, what do I do? What do I do? I can't sit here and preach faith without works is dead, right? And I'm putting in for jobs. I'm trying to be on a straight and narrow. I know I mess up. But every time I try, I just get hit, right? So I'm like, I'm not thinking about those angel numbers. Fuck it. Then, so last week, I got a denial letter from the first job. It was for a law firm, and I was going to be pretty much helping out with clerical work. That would have been a great job for me. My background history is in criminal justice and political science. I started out working at a courthouse. I didn't get the job. The pay was great too. I said, okay. Now, one thing I pride myself on is when I walk into an in-person interview, I'm always walking out with the job. Always. So that was an ego hit to me. But I said, you know what? I think somewhere between me bringing up my acting career a little too soon probably made them feel a little rocky. And for that, that's on me. The other job, which is what I was holding out on telling y'all, was a funeral home. clerical work as well. I would be at the front desk, but this was something different. And everybody was like, are you sure? But I was excited. I felt like it would be a different job for me, a different experience. I feel I could go to work and actually make a difference. And I was just looking forward to trying something new, something that everybody was like, I don't know if you can handle it. The only person who was excited for me was my fiance. My mom was like, you'll be crying every day. Like, I don't know. And da 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 da. So the first interview went great. We were on the phone. And he was like, yeah, it was like 163 applicants. And I was like, oh my goodness, bless your heart that you're going to have to interview all them. He was like, oh no, I only picked 6 and you were one of the top 6. I was like, wow. And you know, like I felt good. And the money, oh my God, it was great. The only thing that I wasn't being honest with myself about was the long-term sustainability of the job. He was telling me like people who have been working there for 70 years, 80 years, 40 years, 25 years. Like that's what the staff looks like there. And they stay there until they die. That's great when it comes to job security. But to be honest, that's not my call. That's not what I'm drawn to do. It's something I would have loved to explore, but it's not something I was drawn to do. And for that, maybe it was the universe putting me back in alignment. But the same day I had the phone interview, he immediately sent me an email and was like, yeah, so we want to go ahead and move forward with the panel interview. Would you be available possibly this Monday? Like it was the week of Christmas, so last week. He was like, I know it's the holiday, so if not, we could wait until after. I was like, oh no, I'm available. I go there, I meet with them. The vibes are great. I'm being honest in that interview, as honest as I could possibly be. They were asking me questions like, what do you think your job can do about the issues that they're having? How do you think management could make things better? They didn't even ask what the issues were. It was just a simple question. And I told them, I was like, you know, that's a great question. I was like, I'm not sure. I was like, you know, I think call center work is just there to burn people out. I was like, I think that people have like a 2-year max limit. I was like, and at first I just felt like it was me. I was like, but then I spoke briefly about it on TikTok, just how call center work burns you out. I was like, and it went viral. I was like, but that's not what shocked me. I said, what shocked me was the amount of people in the comments saying that they were contemplating committing suicide and that their mental health had declined so bad they can't get out of bed. Some people's health conditions got worse, like to life or death situations. So for those, I know I'm not crazy, and I don't know how you fix that. An honest answer, but probably not the best. But at this point, I have to be true to myself, and I'm tired of making these jobs feel like life is just so peachy, and the only reason I'm leaving, like, why the fuck do you think I'm leaving a job? Why do you think? Be happy. I'm not saying I'm leaving for money. I'm leaving for my mental health. Like, maybe that's where I went wrong in that interview, for being honest. Because, you know, before I would go in there and I would say what they wanted to hear. But now I'm just being honest with my answers and pure with them. And I had high hopes because it felt like everything went really good. It was the most comfortable I felt in any panel interview. And then I got in my head and I started beating myself up about my arm tattoo. Although I wore long sleeves, you could see like this. I'm like, you know, maybe the job see that and they think I'm unprofessional, you know? And I hadn't heard nothing. And this is Tuesday of the following week. So while I was on the phone with my fiance, he was just like, have you heard from that job? And I was like, no, I haven't. I was like, but you know, they were asking if I wanted to interview before or after the holidays. And you know, this week is holidays, so I don't know what that looks like. It was like, yeah, you know, he was like, I think everything went good. Just wait, you know, just wait. And I was like, well, you know, I'm still putting in for other jobs. I told him like yesterday, I was up at like 6, just putting in for jobs. But right now, around the holiday, it's not a lot of new jobs generating, at least on the sites that I go on. And so that was also a little discouraging. Then that morning, a job had emailed me and had said that they were interested in doing a 15 to 20 minute phone interview with me to discuss my background and to discuss the roles that they have available. So I immediately scheduled the interview. They only had one interview for the same day, and it was for 3 p.m. So I took it. That was yesterday. Same day that I tried to do Instacart. So I was also trying to manage my time around Instacart for the phone call because I wanted to be close to home in case there was bad connection where I was, in case there's car alarms going off. I just didn't want to seem unprofessional. So they kind of have me waiting around for them, whatever. Cool. 3 o'clock comes. No phone call. 3:05 hits. No phone call. At that point, I called my fiance back. And he was like, dang, that was a quick interview. I said, nobody has called. I said, and at this point, even if they're late, what type of setting does that set for your job? Because this is somebody's time. My time is just as valuable. He was like, no, I understand. That's crazy. He was like, if they call, would you answer? I said, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Me knowing what I bring to the table, no, that's not fair to me. Because if I showed up to the interview late, they probably would have marked me off as a good candidate, you know? And so me valuing myself, even in these dark moments, because normally the people pleaser in me would just continue to be like, okay, well, things happen, but me having value and trying to make sure I still somewhat align myself, I have to say, no. It wasn't until 6 p.m. I get an email from the recruiter apologizing and saying that they had a meeting that lasted way longer than they intended to and wanted to see when my next available time is. I haven't responded. I don't know if I'll respond because I don't know if I'm operating out of ego or operating out of holding better standards for myself. And then before my fiance even comes home, I get an email from the funeral home. They thank me and say that they have moved on with a different candidate. Those were the only 2 jobs that I officially had somewhat lined up because I had in-person interviews or an interview at all. And then, you know, I'm on TikTok and I'm seeing how they're saying Black women are having a hard time finding jobs. Like, everybody is feeling it, but Black women are the most unemployed currently. So I've stopped putting my race and my gender on job applications. And I just feel down, right? I feel down. I feel down. I feel down. I feel down. So I drink. I'm drinking. I may take my medicine today. I may not. I'm just like, I don't care anymore. Like, I'm going to tell you the exact thoughts that's going through my head. I don't have no family. Like, they don't care about me, right? There are some that do. But, like, the other day I had a conversation with my mom, just trying to get her to just see some things that just aren't right. A wall. I have to cut her off. As much as I don't want to, I have to set hard boundaries with her. She's comfortable living where she is, and I knew that from the beginning, but I thought we were making some sort of progress, but she just wants to be willfully blind. And I have to let everybody the same way. I have to let my sister be in those positions. I have to have that same regard with everybody. Let them. I don't fuck with my dad. I don't fuck with my sibling. I don't have my siblings. Because it's all a narcissistic bubble, right? Job-wise, I'm going to have to go back to that toxic job. Then, my fiance came in with the mail. Every time he come with the mail, it's stacks for me. All medical. Always medical. This time, it's a billing service for my job, right? Because I'm not working, I'm going through a short-term disability. They know I'm not getting paid, but that's not on them. They're looking for their money for insurance. Because I don't have a paycheck. So I got 3 big bills over there. Some past due. Of them asking me to make payments for my health insurance. Oh, but my health insurance card came in the mail. So I probably don't have that. And I have to go to this doctor's appointment on the 5th. On top of the $797 hospital bill, which payments start on the 5th. The $231 doctor's bill that still hasn't hit, that they said I cannot do payment plans on. That one still hasn't come out yet. And they said once it does, I'll have to just pay that in full. And they still want me to keep coming to these doctor's appointments, even though I'm telling them I don't have the money. And they just keep saying, do financial assistance. Nobody's hearing me, right? So I'm like, fuck it, why am I here? Because every time I try to be better, some shit goes left. I'm so deep in a hole, I can't get out. I can't get out. So I'm drinking. Because what else? I hate healthcare. I hate it. 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 People have bigger issues in the world. That's why I'm just like, fuck it. I don't care. I don't care, bro. Anyways, that's it for me. I'm sure I'll come back after counseling. It's at 3:30, so. Happy New Year. As soon as I started the video, my alarm went off. Anyways, happy New Year's Eve, y'all. I want to keep saying happy Vlogmas. I'm gonna have to find out a different intro or a different thing to say. And also, I know y'all realize that there is no intro, and I do got to get on that. But anyways, we are going to be doing things a little bit different today. I did forget to kind of come back and follow up after my therapy session. It was amazing as always. She just helped me see that it's time for me to start doing things that I want and that I feel are best for me. She said the more I talk about myself and the more I talk about what makes me safe, it's always dependent on outside resources, outside people. And she says I need to start looking inward. We also talked about, sorry, let me get my notebook. Hold on one second. Okay, I'm gonna breeze through some spark notes really quickly because I'm trying to hurry up and do this before I have to wake Zion up. But we talked about giving myself grace. She says that she realizes I'm having a hard time doing that, especially right now. She was just telling me that everything is a process, and I didn't get here overnight, so it's going to take a while for me to build myself up to the person that I want to be. She says that if I continue to judge things as right or wrong, I will continue to stay in this loop. I need to start understanding that everyone has a different perspective. That's okay. And I need to do what feels right for me. No matter how that makes anybody on the outside feel, what decisions I make is that's my decision, and I have a right to do it. I was telling her about the dreams I keep having. Every night I'm having dreams. They're like nightmares to me, but they're all dealing with unhealed trauma, family, and other things. Sorry, y'all, this bra is hurting me. But she told me that I need to reach out to my provider because it may be something medicine related, and that's not to say the reason why I'm having these vivid dreams. So she was just very concerned with that. She was also concerned with like my depression levels. So she was saying I need to let my provider know that that's not working, be honest with him about my drinking, and then 9 times out of 10, they're going to either move me up on a dose or just move me over to a whole different medication. She was saying that if a decision sits right in my soul, then it's the right decision for me. So I need to do a better job at looking inward for my decisions, because I am always looking for somebody to validate my decisions, either in the process of making them or before I make them. And then she says, my desire to have people agree with me is causing me anxiety. It's not about the people around me changing. It's about how I choose to operate around these people. And she says that right now I have so much going on. Like, she asked me like, what do you need right now? And I was like, I need peace. She was like, see, that's the problem. You keep trying to tackle these big overarching ideas and you have a lot to unpack. So you have to start small, and that's probably why you're getting overwhelmed. She says we need to make minor goals to work our way up to the bigger goal. She says, so what is something that you can do that's more able to be achieved now that can get you to that point of peace? And I said, a good support system. So that's something that I'm working on building currently. And she says right now, with all the things I have going on, number one, I need to focus on myself, cutting out alcohol and making sure that I feel safe. And then after I get there, then I can focus on my relationship. That comes number 2. And then after that, I can choose to focus on family. But that would mean being okay with setting boundaries. And that may mean I don't even have to give an explanation. Like, me just setting the boundary can be more than enough. And she says, once I understand myself, I can understand my fiance better. I talked to her about the whole headphone thing and the whole water bottle situation and feeling like I'm going crazy. She had to reassure me I am not going crazy. She says, if you were going crazy, you wouldn't even be here in this therapy session. You wouldn't be talking the way you're talking, and you wouldn't be trying to get help. She says, you are not crazy. And she just kept repeating it. And that helped me feel better. But then also she had said that, why do I keep saying I feel like he's gaslighting me? And I had told her, like, it could be simple things. Like, if he uses the bathroom, he may walk out of the bathroom and I don't hear any water running. So I'll be like, did you wash your hands? He'll be like, I was about to. I was just bringing my headphones out. And it's like something that doesn't make sense. And it's like he gets very defensive, and it made me feel like maybe I'm tripping, right? But she was like, what people don't realize is with people with ADHD, they've been told all their lives what they haven't been doing right and what they continue to miss out on. And because their brain doesn't function in a way to remember everything, it becomes a bit of an insecurity for them. So she was like, he could have possibly just been making up a story because he felt embarrassed in the moment. She was like, and then I told her about how I called my sister when I was upset. And she says, how did that go? I said, not good. I said, she just continued to talk about herself. And I just, isolated into myself during the conversation. I said, and I just wanted my sister. She said, well, did you tell her you just wanted your sister? I said, well, no, because I just feel like she would see me as weak. She's already judged me before. She was like, do you see the two parallels between your fiance and him coming up with this story and you coming up with your own decisions so that both of you two can feel safe? And that was when it like hit me like an aha moment. I'm like, okay, I understand it now. I understand it. It doesn't make it right, but it helps me just process things better instead of looking at it like somebody's attacking me. And she told me once I understand myself, I can understand Zion better. And she said open communication is key. She asked me, am I sharing all of myself with him? And that was the conversation I had with him like right after my last therapy session. I met him with a facade up, and I met him in my people-pleasing ways. Not that it wasn't privy to me, but now looking back at it, I was. And because of that, majority of our relationship for the first 2 years, I was drinking every day to try to keep that mask up and to try to be the people-pleasing person that I was trying to portray. And because of that, now I am afraid to show him all parts of me, and I'm not always completely honest about everything I'm feeling at every moment or everything I'm thinking. And it's out of fear of being abandoned, because that's been kind of the theme as soon as I have been showing people the real me or giving people access to the new me. And he's just been reassuring me that he's not going to leave. I guess I'm just holding on to fear that you don't know what that looks like. So to guarantee me something like that would either mean A, you're going to stay just out of obligation, or B, you could still leave me. But I'm not thinking about the other option where he could stay and he could love me and we could be very strong together. She says, I need to remember that I'm in therapy and he is not. So sometimes when we're getting into issues or situations, I need to just be privy of that. She says, I'm going to miss the present, worrying about the future. And she says, there's so many beautiful gems right here, right now, in the present, that you're going to look back and you're going to hate that you missed them if you continue to live like this. And then she says, we talked about, she asked me if I had kids. I said no. I told her I want to be a mother, but because I understand I'm not healed and because I understand I have indoctrinated things inside of me, I don't want to bring another life into this world and fuck them up. And I said, because of that, every time I learn a new trauma about myself, it just pushes that goalpost back and back and back. She said, well, first of all, she was like, I understand you're afraid of hurting somebody else because you've been hurt. She's like, and because of everything that has happened to you. She says, but you will never be at a point of healed with an ED on the end. She says, so you need to remove the ED off of the word heal, because you will be healing until the sun sets on your life. And that was eye-opening to me, because I have been treating this like a race, and she keeps telling me, like, you keep trying to get there. You're going to be healing your whole life. And now that I've understood that that's the thing, because I hear people say, I'm healed now. And it's like, nobody is at the level of just healed, period, no more work. And that's what I was looking forward to, no more work. But you're always going to be healing. And so because of that, what is the rush? What is the rush? Enjoy it, because this is going to be your process for the remainder of your life. That sounds exhausting, but it also sounds inspirational. She asked me, why am I not accepting help from my fiance? He had offered to pay rent. I think I mentioned that earlier in yesterday's video. And she was just like, what is your fear? I was like, the fear of me draining him and him not telling me. And she was like, it's not my place or my job to identify if I've drained him. She says, that's on him to tell me. She says, and if he can't tell me, then that's something that he'll need to work on. But that's not on me to try to stand in the gap of. And then she says, it's okay if he shows up for a few months. She was like, that's not going to be life or death. Like, it's absolutely okay if he's telling you that he can. I'm sure for 1 or 2 months y'all could afford to handle that. And I'm like, you're right. I said, I guess I just have a fear. She's like, you're not gonna lose your place in 2 months. You're not. And then she said, the only thing that I can control is everything inside of me. I'm always trying to control everything else around me, and that brings me so much anxiety. And basically the conclusion I came to is I am actually showing cognitive dissonance. I'm asking for a support system. I'm asking for people to show up for me, for people to actively listen. And then when people come, I deny them. And she told me, and she was like, it's a trauma response. So I understand it, but understand what's happening. And I appreciate her just holding me to so much accountability, because that's the one thing I asked. And then she said that all of these struggles are forming me into my higher self, I've been kind of obsessed with, like, and you'll see it, the death of old me and the rebirth of this higher self me. And I've been under the impression I'm supposed to kill off my old self, and this new higher self will just be a new body I just kind of step into when the time is right. And my fiance was the first to tell me, like, you shouldn't be trying to kill the old you. You should be looking to see how you could use those situations and those characteristics to form into the higher you. Like, the point is to fall in love with it so that it can help you and you know how to navigate it, not completely rid yourself of it. And then she was like, absolutely. She was like, you are supposed to use this life to continue to evolve into higher you. It's not a separation of the two. And that's been my inner battle. And so it's falling in love with my flaws, falling in love with these moments that I've been trying so hard to run away from, and getting upset as to why they keep appearing when I'm doing the right things. I'm supposed to learn how to navigate this right now, this down portion. And then she says, because I told her, in these moments, I keep reminding myself things aren't happening to me, they're happening to align me. And she says, no. She says, things aren't happening to me, they're happening for me to clear my path for whatever it is. I'm also going to make that the quote of the day. So things aren't happening to me, they're happening for me to clear the path of whatever it is. So I do appreciate that. And then she just asked me, because, you know, yesterday I stopped taking my medicine. I had told her my plan was to not take my medicine today, to just straight. I told her I didn't care if I was here, not here. She asked me if I was suicidal. I said no. I said, but I'm just having dark thoughts and I just don't care to be here. And she was like, okay. She was like, so we need to come up with a plan if you're feeling extremely low to the point of getting to the point of taking actions. And so she said, so what can you do? Who can you talk to? She was like, can you talk to your fiance? I said, yes. She was like, now if your fiance and you are just not getting along, what else can you do? She's like, do you have anybody else you could talk to? I'm like, no. I'm like, I could take a nap. She's like, okay, take a nap. She was like, do you have the number to our clinic? I said, yes. She was like, and then do you have a crisis number? Which I did use one at the beginning of the year, so I need to relook it up. She says I need to lock it in my phone, and they also have a text hotline number in case I don't want to be on the phone. So my fiance says he really likes her and that he wants me to ask about sessions twice a week. I do feel a lot lighter and a more clear-headed after speaking to her, because sometimes when I go in there, it's like I'm just not in the mood. And yesterday she clocked it. I drank before I went to that session. I got on that camera. I've only met this woman. That was the second time. She says, how are you? I said, I'm okay. She says, you look tired. I love that. I love that she could be honest with me and that she could let me know exactly what's going on in my life, because I need somebody to clock my shit. Don't make me feel comfortable. And so with that being said, okay, it's 9:14. I really got to wake Zion up. Okay, so with it being New Year's Eve, Zion thought it would be a good idea for me to just come to work with him, not actually inside of his job. I'll just be in the car, and it's good for me to get out of the house so that I'm not here making bad decisions. He didn't know today was New Year's Eve. He just was like, you want to come to work with me tomorrow? I've done this before when I've been super depressed, and it's actually helped me. I don't know, I can't explain it, but I have a good time. It's like I can still do productive things without being unproductive. If I was here, I'd be drinking. I already have a bottle back there waiting on me for later. But me getting out of the house, I have my books ready to go. I'm going to try to learn how to knit today. I'm going to bring my weighted blanket. I'm going to watch some videos. I'm going to watch some TikToks. I got my portable charger charging this one. I have another one in the room charging. I'm going to bring my iPad. So come along with us to go work with Zion. And then afterwards, I will show you guys some of the New Year's activities we'll do. I was the one who called you first, Mom. No, actually, Mom, I called you and I told you and I asked you not to tell Dad. And then a few hours later, Dad blew up my phone. Dad blew up my phone to call me and tell me how much of a hoe I was and how much of a heifer I was. I remember because I felt suicidal in that moment. I felt like nobody cared about me. Nobody believed me. Not the person who gave it to me, not my parents. And all I got was people still talking down on me. I was already talking down on myself. I did not want to be here anymore. So the fact that you don't remember certain monumental things it's concerning to me. And the fact
fact that you continue to brush them off like they're just nothing, like they're just a past memory that I should get over, is crazy.
I ain't brushing nothing off because
So then where's the accountability when we have another witness saying that you absolutely did it?
I didn't know you had chlamydia.
You absolutely did, and Mom just confirmed it. So now that we understand that, and now that we know, and now that we remember, Mom, please, in this moment, I'm looking for you to, I'm looking for you to have my back, Mom. I really am.
I said I remember. How many apologies do you? But what I'm saying is your apology. Listen, what I'm saying. You keep on going on and on. We're trying to make.
You asked me what examples should I give you to get an apology, which is crazy. And I said I gave you an example, and then you said that's it because I told you that I hope that you don't. I hope nothing happens to your car and you end up on a bike. I said, do I have to go down my whole life? Because you said I apologize if I made you feel any type of way. I mean X, Y, and Z. I mean what do you want me to apologize for? Now that I'm giving it out, you tell me I'm going on, and I've only given you 2 examples.
And that was you was doing that a lot. So you do need to apologize for that.
Like, I don't know why I have to tell you every single thing you've done wrong for me. I'm not looking for you to apologize for every single thing. I'm looking for you to take accountability for the overall themes. The overall themes are you don't respect me. The overall themes are you talk to me crazy. The overall themes are you take no accountability. The overall themes are when somebody tries to hold you accountable, you want to get off the phone or you want to misremember things. The overall themes are you have no type of respect for my relationships. The overall theme is you don't like me. If I'm not doing something that you don't like, you don't like me.
Okay, Bree. I apologize for calling you whole halfers, and I apologize. At the time, I was upset because I want you to listen to me as a daughter, as my daughter. I didn't want you to fall in a situation that I.
That's the theme I'm talking about. When you don't like me, when I don't listen to things you want me to do.
Okay, Bree, you gonna let me talk? See, I'll let you talk.
Go ahead.
Now, I didn't want you to go in the area I went in because I know what it is like out there with like young women. There are diseases, everything, like you said, you call chlamydia. All I wanted for you is the best, and I still want the best for you, Bre'Ana. And my thing is, there's no dislike towards you from me. I love you. You my daughter. I love you more than anything. If something happened to you, Bree, it will hurt my heart. Okay? I want the best for you in life. And I'm sorry for everything I said to you, for everything that you felt offended that came out of my mouth.
That wording of what you felt. No, because I want to let you know that I don't want you to continue with this apology until I have it right? The whole I'm sorry if I made you feel or if you felt, please remove that because I absolutely felt this way and this is what you've done to me. So let's go ahead and acknowledge that so that we can get the correct apology because right now it feels like it's just being given so that I can shut up.
I apologize for that too.
This is crazy. Do you feel this has been rectified? Do you feel things are just back to normal?
I don't feel it rectified because you sitting up here laughing.
Yeah, of course, because this has to be a joke.
And you're just laughing at the situation. How far do you want this to go? I'm trying.
I guess I should have asked you that when I came back home for that car and you made sure that you tore me down for an hour. And after I told you I had to go drop off that rental car, you said, oh, you too good to stay here. You got to go now after you beat me down for a whole hour. I guess at that moment, I could have asked too, how far do you want this to go? You were getting mad that I wasn't even looking at you in your eyes as you continued to tear me down. You continued to tell me how much of a failure I was as an adult, how much of a failure I was that I made a mistake. And so I could have asked you then, but I let you go on for over an hour. But now that I'm giving you a few minutes to try to explain why I deserve an apology for my whole life. Now I'm going on. And how long do I want this to go? And how many apologies do I want? That's crazy. That's crazy.
we need to be able to move forward.
The only way I'll be able to move forward is in a healthy manner. And until people can understand what they have done to me, I will not be moving forward, because that lets me know that you will continue to do it. And if I have to tell somebody how they've hurt me when I know dang on well they were in their right mind and everything they did was intentional, then that is an issue in itself. I'm not here to hold anybody's hand to get better or to have a relationship with me. I could care less at the end of the day. I prefer keeping my peace. However, if somebody does want to enter my life, I want people to come with pure and good intentions and not for optics. The only reason he cares about if he was to lose me is because it would mess with his optics of being a good parent. When in reality, we all know the truth. That's why anybody cares. That's the only reason anybody checks in. That's the only reason anybody cares about me being suicidal. It's because if I am to get up out of here, if I was to get up out of here, nobody wants to have on their shoulder, well, why didn't you reach out? Why didn't you say nothing? So this right here will clear you of the debt.
But at the end of the day, I'm trying to see how we can repair our relationship.
I just told you, and you said, how much more do you want me to go on and on?
I don't understand.
Let me know which part you don't understand.
I don't understand. I'm telling you, Bree, I'm sorry. Whatever the situation we went through, I want to repair our relationship.
So let me explain something. When I allowed mom back, she said, you know what? I realized that I did do this to you as far as my eating disorder. She says, I'm so sorry I did that. I didn't realize in the moment. And that's something I can appreciate. You may not have all the answers in the moment, but I know you grow. I know even though you're fighting so hard against growing, common sense is coming to you just a little. So I know when you've done something wrong, yet you sit in that and you feel vindicated in it. And you come up with stories in your mind as to why it's okay. And when somebody brings that to your attention, you still, it's hard for you to take accountability. It is. Just now, I told you 2 things. You asked me for examples. I'm giving them to you. You can't stomach the examples I'm giving. And you want to deny these things. And thank God that mom is speaking up for me in this moment to be a witness, because if not, I know you would have tried to gaslight me. But because you can't, it's hard for you to stomach right now. It's hard for you to stomach what you've done wrong. Look at you. You're cutting me off. You're telling me to help you understand, and then you want to cut me off as I'm trying to explain to you.
And you couldn't breathe. I was trying to talk to you, and you were doing all this falling and cutting me off and stuff. But at the end of the day, Bree, it's like this. My thing for you and for all my kids is to do well in life and to know that me and your mama did the best we could for all y'all, for you, especially for you and Josh. Okay? But my thing is, Bree, do you think I sit up here and try to hurt my children, hurt you?
Absolutely. When you say things like, I hope nothing happens, when you say, I'm telling you, when you say, I hope nothing happens to that car and you end up on a bike, that was your response because you didn't like that I literally said, why are you worried about who gets pregnant and who doesn't? That's not a loving father, and that's not unconditional love. A parent would never say that to their child. When you called me after I found out that I had caught chlamydia with that abusive ex, when you started calling me all types of hoes and heifers, do you think that's love? Do you think that's something a parent should be doing? Or do you think that's something that somebody does to somebody out there on the street?
You can talk. Bree, my thing right now, you know what, Bree? I take every accountability for what I said to you that offended you. Any way I offended you, I apologize. Because at the end, hold on, see, you want to talk? I said, any way I offended you from public.
I'm literally not talking. What did I do? What did I do?
He don't like you laughing at him.
But it's comical. What is so wrong with laughing? I'm not talking over him. If it's funny to me, why is that mean? His ego is hurt. He can't help it. He needs to have ego at all times. And because I'm not going to let you gaslight me into thinking that you're giving me a proper apology, you're mad. go back to the drawing board and figure out how you could have been a better parent using the excuse we gave you the best that we could. Homeless people have babies and say that they give their babies the best that they could. Is that the best though? No. There are definitely some things that could have been changed and that could have been better. Absolutely. Giving a roof over a child's head, feeding them, changing their diaper that's a necessity, okay? But what about the underlying things? Emotional support, okay? Teaching emotional intelligence, okay? Acknowledging feelings, teaching people how to talk constructively, teaching people how to navigate this world with confidence. None of that was taught to me. None of that was taught. All of these things are still a very huge part of parenting. But because he didn't want to heal himself, you can't give that to me. Should I give you a pass because you had a hard life? No. You could have chosen to not have kids the same way I'm choosing not to until I heal myself. But you chose to go out here and have children. So therefore, yeah, I'm going to hold you accountable. And it's not on me, the child, to bridge this gap. Half of the things that I'm dealing with is due to poor parenting. So with that being said, it's not on me to make somebody feel comfortable and to make somebody come back into my life. No.
Yeah.
That's on the parent.
You're right.
Look at him. But he changed, huh? I know a wolf in sheep's clothing when I see one. He couldn't wait. But this is the same person who said he won't bother me when I come home. I know what's going on. He can't stomach me. And that's why I will not be coming back there.
You're gonna have to go somewhere where you're happy and
do you think this brings me happiness?
Well, no, I know it doesn't. But what I'm saying is, you need to find a place where you're going to be happy and you're going to be able to, afford the cost of, everything. You got to look at everything as a whole.
I do give you that, but for right now, my happy place is just by myself. That's where it is. I don't trust people, and rightfully so. Look at what I deal with. Like, why am I gonna keep running to family friends when I'm being met like that? Like, no, I don't know. I'm in a very vulnerable spot, and this is why I have a hard boundary against him. And after this conversation, I would appreciate if he just, when I hear him in the background, I'll just hang up until he can take full accountability and until he can find out the right way to apologize. I'm cool on him. Okay. Well, I'm happy you feel you made the right apology. I'm happy you could stroke your ego. Go tell the rest of the family you apologize, and I laughed in your face. Go ahead. Go tell everybody how you're the victim. I know you're waiting for the moment. He is so regressed. He is so arrested. You are dealing with arrested development. You are regressed to middle school. Do you hear how you're a child? Well, apologize to me for laughing. You're the parent. Grow up. That's why I laugh. This has to be a joke. Anywho, I'm supposed to be sitting in this car and getting peace. So I'm gonna talk to you later.
Keep track of her time. I'm gonna tell Bree something before. Bre'Ana, I want you to know I love you. I'm always love you. I'm your daddy, and don't let nobody tell you different. That I don't love you, and you are always in my prayers. And you know what? That's how I'm gonna stand on it, and I wish the best for you. And I don't want you to believe anything else. You hearing it from my mouth. If you need us, if you need to come home or whatever, even though you don't want to, the door is always open. I love you, and I'm gonna leave it right now.
No, let me say what I have to say. That ain't fair.
Go ahead.
Okay, I'm not listening to nobody. Just so you know, this is my own conclusions. However, I love you as well, and I wish you the best as well. I'm sorry that we couldn't make things work. That sucks, but I do wish you the best. And yeah, you don't gotta pray for me though, but I do wish you the best.
I pray for all my kids. It ain't right to pray for everybody else and not leave one out.
I'm sure it will be okay. But I
My hope is
appreciate you.
also that God will save all my kids and their souls be saved. Because strong illusions out here, there's demons in the air and they showing themselves. Demons are showing themselves. This thing is real. A lot of people are taking themselves lives away from here because they saying it's too much. They killing themselves, and I don't want that to go through my family because I know without a doubt that my family, God had promised me that my family would be saved, and my thing is to walk upright before y'all. Yes, I had some shortcomings in my life, and you will too if you when you become a mom and whatever your husband become a father. You're gonna have a lot of things to go through with your kids and stuff.
Can I
But
say something?
I'm sure that everything you do in life to try to make them feel good, they're not going to agree with you 100%.
Can I say something? I don't have to have a kid to know that. And I wish that y'all would
Well,
stop
no, I'm
thinking
saying
that parenthood comes with a
I'm
different.
saying,
But let me say something though. Parenthood does not give you a different level of wisdom. That comes with just common sense and learning the world. And because I know that I'm not in a healed place, that's why I don't have kids. And that's where your shortcoming was. And that's why we ended up here. And that's all I want you to understand. Once you heal yourself, you can heal your kids. And
okay,
also, I want to just say really quickly that as far as people getting up out of here off of demons, I think we need to look at the deeper issue and see how their support system is set up. And right now, I don't have one, and that could be the cause of people getting up out of here. So before we go putting it on the devil and before we go putting it on demons, let's look at reality for a minute. Let's just see the conversation we just had. Do you think that was a productive conversation? Do you think that's a conversation that makes somebody want to be here? Do you think that's a conversation that makes people feel that they have a support system?
I wouldn't know, Bree. I haven't been in that situation.
You don't know, but you know what it feels like when people talk to you in a mean way, right?
Bree, I have been in depression myself, and I know who brought me out of this thing. It wasn't medication. It was God.
You're
And I know
missing.
that there's a God because he made himself known to me.
We're
And I would have never
talking.
believed it with people just talking, telling me that there's a God. But this God, my God, came to me and called my name. I heard his voice just as plain as day.
Congratulations. I'm happy
But
for
I
you,
done
but
been
you're
through
missing
things,
the
and I
point. You're missing the
breathe.
point.
But you got to understand one thing. You don't understand my bringing up when I was a child. You don't understand that I didn't know how to be a husband. I didn't know how to be a father. All I know is what I know.
So whose fault is that you chose
I'm
to?
not saying
But
it's
let me. I'm
nobody's
at. But
fault.
hold
I'm
on
saying
though.
that
What I'm saying is, I think you're looking at, and I want you to understand. I do. I do have a sense of empathy for you because I do understand that life was hard. But the same choice that you had is the same choice that I have. The same choice that mom has. You have to heal yourself before you go get married. Before you have kids. That's why things are rough for you. That's why you think marriage is a job. It doesn't have to be. Parenting doesn't have to be a job. But when you're not
I'm in this
healed.
thing now. I'm already in it. It's too late to think about
It
that because
is.
I
So
didn't have
I'm
nobody.
trying to. So why not listen to the people who are being affected by you and your upbringing and you being unhealed? Why don't you want to get the feedback from the people who are constantly being beat up by you? Hurt people hurt people. You're hurt. And you're hurting people. You keep hurting me over and over and over.
Bree, let me tell you something. Ever since you went to college and went to high school and stuff, who was there?
Dad,
There.
if we want to be honest, okay. Go ahead. Okay. You're right. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I was talking over you. I do apologize. Go ahead.
Ever since you were my child and stuff, from a child all the way up, I had your back. When people came at you in school, I was up there. Every day, man, in that office ready to fight somebody for messing with my baby. Now, I'm gonna have to come up and stuff. Everything I did, Bree, I did it for my children and stuff, the best that I knew how. Now, if I wanted to hurt you and stuff, Bree, I could have did that when you was a young baby and all this. My intention was my baby was gonna be somebody. My baby was gonna be somebody. Y'all not gonna do my babies any kind of way. I was up there at that schoolhouse. Who was up there had you coming home writing stuff when you didn't want to write it? You were crying, Dad, I'm tired of writing. No, you gonna write this. Because when they mess with you, they mess with me. Even in college and stuff. I was up there 3 o'clock in the morning, pissed off because of this Greg and all this. I wanted to hurt him. Anybody that mess with my baby, I don't know where you getting this at from, that I'm out here to hurt you. Okay, maybe I went about it the wrong way, trying to push you to be successful in life because I didn't know how to do it, but the best that I knew how, maybe it hurt you in some kind of way, but my intention was never to hurt my daughter. My intention is to never see you in this situation that you're in now, to depend on somebody else because of your mental state. Everything I did, me and you used to sit out there and change the brakes on the car and stuff. Why wasn't this talk to me when we were sitting outside changing your brakes? Dad, I want to learn. I'm coming out there to go with you, Dad, to learn how to change my brakes and all this, to change tires and stuff. Why didn't you bring this up to me? Why didn't you talk to me? You could have talked to me.
Can I?
We had that relationship.
Okay.
I thought we had a relationship that you come talk to me.
So I can't talk to you about everything. See, you're willing to hear when it's outside people, but when it's something pertaining to you and needing to be better, you get defensive.
We're talking about.
No, you just said, why can't I talk to you about these things about you?
No, I'm talking about then. When you
What
said
I'm
that,
telling you right now, why? You look at you right now. Like I gave you the floor to talk. I did not interrupt you. You told me why couldn't I? I'm telling you exactly why, and I haven't even finished my whole thing. Not only that, I do feel like when you're underneath you can't see the toxicity. You do things to people and then you go and you play victim. You don't take accountability. And at the time, I was a naive child. As every parent will learn, your children grow up as adults and they start seeing adults in their family as adults. And we start seeing what decisions adults make. When I was a child, yeah, I looked at you like a hero, the same way I looked at mom. But when I grew up, I realized, oh, this isn't somebody I want to pair myself around. This isn't somebody I want to look up to, and this isn't somebody I want to model my life after, because your standards and what you stand for didn't align with me, and that's okay. And in those moments, I tried to kind of get you to see my point of view. You weren't interested in learning anything that was outside of you, because anything that was against you, well, anything that was outside of you, you felt was against you, trying to attack you, and you felt like it didn't make this model child that you were looking forward to me being. When in all actuality, you weren't allowing me to be myself. Hence why I'm a people pleaser. That's how it worked out for me, and that's why I'm depressed. But not only that, I will say even in school, when it came down to me being bullied, you think you were there helping me, but me looking back at it as an adult, why didn't you get me out of that school? You continued to send me there day after day. Why? For money. At the end of the day, as much as you had a good intent, let me finish though. As much as you claim you had a good intention, you can't say that you weren't getting a drive out of write that down. Like how you said, I was the one making you when you didn't feel like it. That could have been a moment where you could have checked on my emotional state, my emotional well-being, so that I could somehow recover from this. And now I'm an adult trying to unpack this stuff, which has also caused me a lot of damage. That could have been a time where you put me in therapy, where you could have really sat down with me and asked me mentally, how are you? You were so concerned with me documenting things and you being on the phone with the lawyers that you never stopped to ask me how was I only remember one time when you gave me a hug and you said things will be okay. Throughout that entire time, when I was begging you, I didn't want to go to school anymore. I didn't want to be there. And that's what taught me to keep pushing through, even how low I feel, keep pushing through, which is why I'm burnt out now. Not only that, it's funny how as soon as we got the over, you were quick to move Josh out of the school. You can't say I was not a pawn to a means to an end.
Okay, I'm going to tell you what. Okay. First of all, I know you can't handle it in one of these schools around here. You'd have been beating your tail 24 hours a day up there. You'd have had it worse. Josh went up, he had to fight every day over there.
So there were no other better options around?
The best option, there was no other option than these schools over there. At the end of the day, they'd have been beating you down over there.
We had schools in...
Please, couldn't nobody drive away the doggone?
If you cared about your child and her mental state,
let me tell you something.
Dad, you didn't even have a job. You didn't even have a job. And there was a car there. There was a car. What do you mean?
You got taken care of.
I'm not. Do you see how you take things so personal and we completely lost? But you're talking about how I got taken care of, and I'm telling you about my emotional mental state that was not taken care of. Look at you though. Like, look.
At the end of the day, friend,
I
what I'm
can't
trying
have
to
a
get you to
conversation.
understand.
No, and that's the problem. You want to have a conversation to get me to understand
Well,
your side, and you don't care to hear anybody else's, so I won't let
I'm
you
hearing
finish.
your side,
Mom,
but
I
you
will
keep
talk to you
trying to make
later.
it seem like I'm
How
the
am I
bad
trying to
guy.
make any... I'm not. You're taking it personal. You're not understanding me. I can't help that intellectually you can't comprehend what I'm saying, so you get defensive. That's your problem. You're so regressed, so now when people try to come at you with logic, you get emotional. You want to fight. You want
How you
to
trying to
argue.
diagnose me, though, friend?
I'm
You
not.
can't
I'm telling you where
diagnose
you're...
me.
I'm not diagnosing you. I'm calling you what exactly you are, and I'm telling you exactly what's happening. Because
I feel like you trying to
lack...
diagnose me.
Because look at you. I'm not... You're taking so much personal that you can't even hear the words that are coming out of my mouth, and now it's a lost cause because you're acting out of emotion.
Well,
You can't even logically hear me. There is no well. I will talk to y'all later. Have a good day. I don't play like that. I don't play like that. I don't play like that. Okay, you guys, so this vlog is about to be all over the place. I know we were spending the day with Zion. We did spend the day with Zion. I did not film none of it. Somewhere between being on the phone with my mom and my dad, which y'all gonna see in the clip before, I was just like, I'm gonna just take this time to myself. I tried to learn how to knit. I'm gonna show y'all how far I got. It's harder than it looks. Oh, you know what? I put it up. I don't feel like taking it back out. But it's harder than it looks. I will tell y'all that. So I'm going to take a break on that, honey. We went to the grocery store because Zion is obsessed with ribs all of a sudden. I'm going to be making cake. These are the two options, but today I'm going to make the funfetti one. And we are going to have it with strawberry icing. And that's pretty much it. Did you hear that they're having fireworks?
Right.
Like downtown, all over downtown and midtown, because the mayor said instead of the ball dropping, he's going to do like a citywide fireworks show so that everybody can get to experience New Year's Eve.
Sounds dope.
I know.
I feel this is all thanks to the monks. So shout out to them. At the end of the day.
It is nice though, because he was like, that way everybody don't have to be in a crowded spot, and people who can't afford to make it.
Yeah. This is the problem we've been having lately with crowds.
Do you think we'll see or at least hear?
It depends on what part, because we can see parts of Atlanta from here if they shoot them off. Like if the King and Queen building starts shooting, we'll see stuff.
Yeah, and if not, the Braves Stadium gonna always get down.
Always.
It'd be smoky outside. Oh wait, that's for the 4th of July though. But they still do stuff for New Year. Yeah.
You know that there's gonna be a big crowd in the back.
And we got the snappers, honey, bringing it in. It is 11:58. I took a little nap on the floor. I feel very energized. Dang, we didn't even pull out the cheese tray yet. I didn't even ice the cake yet. So much to do. But first, we're just focused on the ball dropping. It is 11:59. And I hear some fireworks. But I don't really see nothing yet. Oh, we supposed to give each other a kiss.
Come show these ribs.
What, nigga?
Look at them things.
Beautiful. Y'all, it's getting out of hand. It kind of feel like we under attack the way that it's shaking the apartment at this point.
Oh, that was it.
Thank God for it. I need a little nap before I can continue with the festivities, so we'll be back.